Hi, I'm Chef Bernard. On our show this week, we're going to put together some ice cream and sorbet. The first thing we're going to put together is French vanilla ice cream. We're going to do a basic ice cream, and what we're going to do with that ice cream is work it from a double boiler on top of the stove here. The next thing we're going to work and make is a blackberry sorbet, and we're actually going to work with that in our ice cream maker here. And then our third recipe, we're going to do a lemon ice or a granite. And it's a very simple procedure. This is something that is really, it's a lot of fun. And of course, any of these recipes that we're going to be putting together today is something that the kids will thoroughly enjoy. And whether or not it's the middle of summer or the dead of winter, this is something that you can play around with, you can have some fun. As you see out on the counter here, we're going to be working with some of our frozen fruit. We're going to be making the blackberry sorbet, and we're going to be using our frozen blackberries. And here they are right here with our fresh juice. I mean, it's a wonderful, wonderful product. But to get started, what we're going to be doing is scalding our milk and our cream and our vanilla bean. So we're using heavy cream. Let's pour that right in our bowl. A double boiler is set up in this fashion here as a large pot which has water coming about halfway up just to touch the bottom of our pan here. All right? We put our bowl inside, and this is keeping all the heat inside our pot. All right? We're going to add in our milk, and we're going to take our vanilla bean and we're going to cut it, and then we're going to cut it again in half. We're using one vanilla bean for this. And inside the vanilla bean are all the vanilla seeds, and you'll see we already have our ice cream done. Total time on this is going to take about an hour and a half. Now, our show, of course, is only a half hour long, so we are going to show you the finished product on the side. And here's our vanilla bean. If you can zoom in on that, I don't know if you can, but here's all our vanilla seeds right there. It's just wonderful. The flavor, the smell of fresh vanilla bean is just, it's outrageous. It's great. So we're going to take this, we're going to add it in to our bowl, and we're going to turn that on to a medium heat, and we're going to let that come up. It's going to take a little while. And like I said, I want to talk about the process of doing this, and then on any ice cream machine you have, whether you have an older one that has the ice set up around it, and we'll talk about that, or you're going to use the new one, the electric ice cream maker that you take the bowl and you actually take and put it into the freezer. We are going to talk about how that functions. I'm going to let this rest for a second in our pot, and then we're going to come over here and mix together our egg yolks, sugar, and salt. Now, this is going to heat up, but it's not going to boil because we don't want that to happen. We're mixing our eggs, sugar, and salt together. I'm going to set this aside for a second, and I'm going to let this warm up, and I'm going to watch the cream as it begins to agitate on the side of the pot here. We're going to keep it on a nice medium heat, and I'll go back, and we'll stir it every once in a while here, just to loosen it up. And then I'm going to pull out my vanilla beans because I want my seeds to have entered into the cream there. All right? So we'll let that cook for a second. The next thing we're going to do is work on our blackberry sorbet here. And what we're using are frozen blackberries. And you can see that wonderful juice that we have here. That's perfect. That's just what we want. We have our blackberries. We're going to add our sugar and our water to our pan. We want to dissolve our sugar And then we're going to add our blackberries in there. And basically what we're making, just as in the granite, is a simple syrup, all right? And that is, depending on what part of simple syrup that you want to make, it just depends on how much sugar and water ratio that you're going to add. This is 2/3 cup of water to 6 tablespoons of sugar. And you can see here, it's starting to dissolve. And as you heat it, it will begin to dissolve. And we want to make sure it dissolves because when we take and we mix our berries with this mixture and we add our wine, we're going to cool it down, and then we're going to take and put it on our electric ice cream maker, and we're going to start to let it churn and cook up, all right? Or freeze up. Here we go. Our ice is melted. You notice I step away from that. You don't want to have a red coat. I'm going to let this cook up. Right after it comes to a boil, okay? This is a little blackberry. You can use Chambord. You can use some blackberry liqueur, something to enhance or give a little flavor to it, all right? So this takes about 2.5 minutes. We're going to heat it up, and then we're going to need to cool it down before we put it in our electric mixer, all right? And we will strain it to make sure all our seeds come from the mixture. It's good with the seeds, but it's better without, all right?